What's up YouTube, this is RL Yoshi as usual. I'm Max bringing more Let's Play Asagao Academy Normal Boots Club. Last time, after we went home from the convention, from the episode before then, we then went out with Jirard and we looked around the city and we talked about things. And honestly, I feel like we didn't get a lot accomplished last episode. Hopefully that'll change this time. Because now, Hana is on her way to the city again to try to find Princess Pumpernickel when realistically I don't think she will. So anyway. And that's how I found myself riding the train after school the next day, not even taking the time to change. If there was a way I could find Jirard's elusive Princess Pumpernickel, and then I could present it to him. I wanted to make him happy, and if he was happy, I would be happy too. I wandered the city aimlessly, watching people float by me with a sinking feeling. Where was I even supposed to go to find it? I wanted to check out some of the shops, maybe junk and antique shops and the collections of old nerdy stores run by people who were just as big a fans as Jirard was. I'd run willy-nilly into the city without even a plan to my name. With a sigh, I pulled out my phone and typed IBK figures into the search engine. Oh, there was one only a few feet away? I zoomed in on the map, trying to figure out where the hell I was in relation to the directions it was giving. It seemed to be on the other side of this block, but which way was I supposed to go? I glanced up and around me, then came to a full stop. There was an alley just to my right, and through it I could see the orange and purple sign of Neil's Electronics and etc.
Yay!
Awesome! I started into the alley. What a convenient shortcut! I hated navigating cities more than anything, as much as I liked the cities themselves. I wasn't familiar enough with them, so they were incredibly daunting, especially with the way people brushed past you like they didn't care at all. But as I reached the middle of the alley, a looming figure stepped out in front of me. Huh? What the fuck is this? What the hell is this? Are you an Ace Attorney character? Why, hello there, miss. A man with a mile-long pompadour stepped out to block my path to the store, twirling a chain with something glinting on its end. My eyes followed the glinting thing, trying to catch a glimpse of what it was, and noticing this, he brought it to a standstill. My heart stopped. It was a knife. That's a real nice backpack you got there. Come from a rich family, do you? I backed away slowly, clutching my backpack to my chest with both hands. My entire month's allowance was inside of it. Without it, how was I supposed to eat? The robber sneered. I don't suppose you'd want to let me have a look at the inside of that, eh? Maybe you even want to give it to me.
No!
I turned around and started to run, but didn't get far. A sharp jolt of pain shot through my ankle, and I cried out. I fell face first into the ground, biting my lip as I fell. Ow! The iron taste of blood tickled my tongue, and I spat it to the side. I tried to stand, but the pain made me fall back to the ground. The robber walked casually up to me. Easy as taking candy from a baby. He held the knife in one hand, reaching out to me with the other. I scooted away as quickly as I could, eventually running into the wall. There was nowhere left to go, but the knife kept coming closer. Tears in my eyes, I flung my arms over my head. Jirard, help!
Huh.
Oh, he's here! Well, what's going on here? And Jirard was there. I lowered my arms, completely flabbergasted. Jirard stood in the alleyway, a semi-pleasant look on his face, as if he were greeting an old friend instead of confronting an armed robber. You!
Hey!
Baggy! So we meet again. The robber, Baggy, stepped away from me, holding the knife up towards Jirard. They seemed to know each other somehow? Jirard stepped between me and Baggy, a dangerous glint in his eye. I quickly scooted behind him. If you wouldn't mind laying off Hana, that would be great. I doubt you'd like Mistress Valletta to hear about this. You wouldn't dare! I'd slit your throat before you got the chance! Jirard pulled his cell phone out of his pocket, it already open in his hand. He turned the screen towards Baggy, thumb hovering over the send button. Would you? Baggy glanced around himself, trying to figure out some way to escape. Finally, he looked back at Jirard, rage practically shooting off of him. You haven't heard the last of me, Jirard. Someday, I will have my revenge.
Yeah, whatever.
Good enough. And make sure to tell her hi. I will. She says hi back. Nice. Baggy pocketed his knife and wandered out of the alley, heading to who knows where. Jirard watched him until he was out of sight, then bent down next to me.
Hana.
Are you okay? What are you doing all the way out here and in an alley by yourself? You know, I knew as soon as she said, what a convenient shortcut, that something was going to happen. I did not honestly expect them to go the route of robber, though. I expected it to be like looming shadowy figure. Turns out to be someone from school saying hi. How did you know that man? Me and the Bags used to go to school together. Such a card, that one. Card. But are you okay? Okay, buddy, he just tried to rob me at knife point. Tears filled my eyes. I was so relieved to see him. The impact of what just happened was finally hitting me, and my throat tightened until I couldn't reply. Jirard's gaze traveled from my face to my hands, clasped tightly around my ankle.
Hold the phone. What?
Wait, are you hurt? Jirard swept me up into his arms as if he were carrying a princess. He smiled at me, readjusting his grip. I put my arms around his neck, instinctively trying to make it easier for him. Don't worry, I've got you.
Jirard.
I'm taking you to the infirmary. You can't afford hospital fees, right? Don't worry. I'll always be here when you need me. Jirard started out of the alley. As soon as we emerged onto the street, people started to stare, giving Jirard very strange looks. My mind finally caught up with what was happening, and I buried my face into his shoulder. Jirard, put me down. I'm fine. I can walk on my own.
Nope.
No. Under no circumstances. What if it gets worse? Besides, you're hardly heavy at all. So he said, though I could feel his shoulders straining underneath me. I no longer saw the people around me. All I felt were Jirard's arms and the steady bobbing motion of his walk. It was comforting and steady, and finally I realized what could possibly have happened to me had Jirard not been there. Then I started to sob, unable to hold it in any longer. Jirard, I was so scared. Jirard patted me as gently as he could from the way he was awkwardly holding me.
Hana.
Well, you don't need to be anymore. I'm here for you. Jirard's shoulder muffled my sobs, and I didn't pull away from him until we got back to Asagao. Is there going to be no mention of the fact that the dude had a knife? Jirard was like, what are you doing? Hello. Go away. Okay. And, like, really? Dude was robbing me at knife point. Jirard pulled open the door to the nurse's office, carrying me through. Mr. McPassa? What? Wait. Wait, what the hell is this? Why does he have a Pikachu mask? Or, no, a Keaton mask? But, okay. Wait, isn't he the guy from, like, the closet that one time? Yeah. So we just know who he is now. He's the doctor. What the hell was he, or the nurse or whatever, what the hell was he doing in the closet? And why is he called Mr. McPasta? I don't know who this is. Mr. McPasta barely even looked up from his desk. With a single glance, he pointed to a bed in the back of the room. Jirard placed me gently into it and then shook out his arms. He was breathing rather heavily, but was doing his best to hide it. Shame crept down my neck, but Jirard didn't complain. He probably didn't want me to feel bad.
Are you feeling alright?
Okay, you have a voice. I think I hurt my ankle. How did that happen? I tripped. Creeps McPasta. Okay, I get the creepy passage. Is that also based? Is he also based on someone? I guess he is then, okay. Because I was wondering, that name and that look really does not fit like an original character. Not in this universe. Creeps raised an eyebrow, but took a cursory glance of my ankle. Then he poked it. Does this hurt? Yeah! It's only twisted. Get some rest and it'll get better. He glanced from me to Jirard, then smiled a creepy, creepy smile. I've got to run an errand real quick, but I'm sure I could leave you in his care. But Creeps left, his coat sweeping out behind him like the wings of a great white bat. He's Batman. Hana, why were you in that alley in the first place? Why were you wandering the city alone? It's not like walking around the city is that dangerous. Yeah, but it seems like you lack the street smarts people get when they're raised in your cities. Touché. Although I could just as easily ask you the same question.
Hana.
Fine. I was there looking for Princess Pumpernickel. I thought I could check around it, maybe if I found it. I flushed and trailed off. Jirard sighed. Hana, I have every store in a 300-mile radius on watch and ready to alert me if it comes into stock. You don't need to worry yourself trying to find it for me. Why are you going through all of this trouble? Like you don't go through a ton of trouble for me, for all of us. I just wanted to repay you. I bit my lip. And there's another reason, kind of.
Well...
See, I had a collection myself when I was younger. Or something like a collection. When I was little, my mom got sick. Really, really sick. It was basically guaranteed she was going to die, but as a little girl I didn't understand that. I just saw my dad suffering as she grew weaker, my mom stroking my face as she gradually lost the will to keep fighting. But I heard the myth of the 1,000 paper cranes. If you can fold 1,000 origami cranes, your heart's desire will be granted. At least, that's how I understood it at the time. So I tried. I tried really, really hard to fold 1,000 paper cranes. But in the end, I only made it to around 700 before my mother died. As my dad and I stood by her bed, I kept thinking to myself, if only I'd been better. If only I'd been faster. If I could have folded the 1,000 cranes, she would have lived.
Hana.
So when I see you trying so hard to finish your own collection, I guess it just reminds me of little Hana. I want to grant her wish, even if I can't fulfill her heart's desire. Hana, I'm so sorry. No, it's okay. I'm a little surprised myself. I always figured I just wanted to help you out. I didn't connect it to that memory until just now. It's silly, isn't it? I playfully bonked myself on the head, but Jirard didn't even crack a smile. So then, the origami yesterday. I nodded. That's why I stopped folding origami. I haven't really found much joy in it since then. It's why I don't want to go back. But the paper in that shop was beautiful. For the first time, I almost wanted to start again. Jirard searched my face. Then he took my hand in his.
Thank you.
Hana, thank you for trying so hard to help me. It's no problem, really. I want to. You two done talking? Hana needs some rest, a good nap and some crutches to get back to her room, and she should be as good as new within a day or two.
Yes!
That's great. In that case, I'll leave you to rest.
Right.
I grabbed his sleeve as he stood to leave, then glanced at the floor. Thank you for saving me.
Sure, I'll do what I can.
If I had to, I'd save you 1,000 times more. Whatever it took to keep you safe and happy.
Bye!
I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Jirard turned towards the door, and as he pulled it open, he looked at me again.
I promise.
Don't forget, I'll always come help when you need me. And then he was gone. Creep sighed next to me. Lovebirds these days, I swear. Anyway, have a good night. He shook his head, then drew the curtains around my bed. I stared at the infirmary curtains in front of me, distinctly aware of Mr. McPasta's every move. For a while it was silent. He was clicking around and typing on the computer, probably entering in my medical information. I shifted, trying to get comfortable enough to fall asleep, but Mr. McPasta's presence wasn't something that was very soothing. That's what I was thinking anyways, until I heard him giggling. When his giggles finally faded away, I caught the faint meow of a cat. Then the giggles started again. He was watching cat videos on the internet? I chuckled myself, nestling into my pillow. If he liked cats, he couldn't be that bad of a guy. The sound of cat videos sang me to sleep. Whew. Yeah. Here we are now. I was escorted to my room after I woke up. Mai was distraught when she saw me, but after I told her what happened, her expression changed.
Aww.
Jirard saved you? How romantic! Mai. I was on my phone, searching the internet for some kind of movie to watch, when it went off in my hand. I guess this is Jirard. Mr. Rickpassa said you went back to your room. Feeling okay? Smiley face. It was Jirard. Knew it. Warmth bloomed in my chest. Yeah, don't worry. No, he wouldn't believe me. I'm still a bit shaken. No, that would make him worried. I should just tell him the truth. I'm fine. Just need rest. I smiled and sent the message. As I watched, the typing symbol appeared on the bottom of the screen. And then it disappeared. No, wait, there it was again. Yep. Or not. Yep. I watched it appear and disappear, a smile on my face. Finally, he responded. Cool. I giggled and resumed my internet browsing. Jirard was just too cute. Whew. Well, back to this. The walk to class the next day was punctuated with whispers and pointing fingers. Somehow, word about my being attacked in the city got out. Fancy that! God damn it, Mai. As I carefully left the stairwell, conscious of not injuring myself any further, a small, warm something collided with me. Oh no, this bitch. Hana! Oh my god, are you okay? What? Yes, I'm fine. I heard you got attacked by ninjas in the city. Oh my gosh, tell me everything! Mimi looked up at me with wide eyes, all the appearance of concern and compassion. Mai put a hand on her hip. What are you doing, Mimi? What are you talking about? I'm just concerned for my friend Hana here. She slung an arm around my shoulder, rubbing my back like I was a baby who needed to spit up. My poor girl, you must have been so scared.
No.
No, not really. No, but the ninjas. There were no ninjas. No. But still. As she tried to argue further, Ian walked past. Mimi drew me tighter against her. Wow, I am so glad you're okay, Hana. Oh, I see what's going on here. Ian stomped in his tracks and turned to us. Beside me, Mimi shook slightly. She was scrunching up her face like she was trying to hide a grin. Hana, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. It wasn't a big deal. That's good. I would have been upset to lose my biggest competition. Take care of yourself, alright?
Yeah.
I will. He nodded at me, smiling, and the small gesture almost felt like a hug. But then he turned to Mimi, and the music stopped. What the hell was that? Close enough. Me? You're probably the most two-faced person I've ever met, and I've met a lot of the kind. I normally wouldn't say anything, but profiting off of someone who hurt themselves? Only complete monsters do that. If you don't think people can see through this, you're wrong. You're not helping yourself. Ian, you don't know that. No, I guess I don't. He left, a sputtering Mimi in his wake. She yanked her arm from me with a grunt, jostling me into Mai. Stupid. Wait, oh no, that's Mai saying this, but it says Mimi. Or is it? I can't tell. I can't tell who's supposed to be saying this. Stop doing stuff like this to make the guys like you. It's pathetic. Oh no, that was Mimi saying it. Pardon? She slammed the door to the classroom, not even looking back.
Jerk.
God, I always knew that girl was the worst. What is her problem? I mean, I used to be friends with her. It took me a while to see past her fake kindness. She didn't know anybody else and used me to get into volleyball games for free. She had a crush on the coach. Ew. Yeah, older men aren't that bad, but our coach?
So stupid.
Anyways, just forget about her. She's not worth it. Okay, let me just say the best ending to literally any one of these routes involves Mimi getting, like, the biggest punch to the face. Let me just say that. Thanks, Mai. We stepped into the classroom, avoiding Mimi's eyes as we did, but...
Hana.
Oh my god, Hana, are you okay? It was going to be a long day. God damn it, PBG.
Hana.
This is definitely a dream or fantasy of some sort, probably happening in class. Oh, Hana, my sweet. I'm so happy to be finally spending our 20th anniversary together. Jirard, I can't believe you brought us back to the place we met. It only made sense. After all, we had to complete the circle. Oh, but still, 25 years? How did it come to that? I thought it was 20. You don't look a day older, dear. And it's a good thing, too. Jirard grabbed my waist and pulled me into his lap, giggling all the while. Jirard, not here. Why not? Someone could see.
Oh, yeah.
And why would that be a problem? Holy shit, what happened? Who's trying to kill us? I have a candelabra and I'm not afraid to use it. I sprang from her bed and into the middle of the room, wielding some kind of flaunting figure. Sorry, Mai. I just had a weird dream.
Really?
She relaxed and immediately hid the figure behind her back. What's that? Nothing. Mai. Oh, would you look at that? Mai pointed to the wall above my desk, on which there was only a calendar, and tried to toss the figure into her bed. Instead, it clattered against the bedside and fell to the floor.
What?
Mai? Is this my Chibi-Upa figure? I glanced at the corner of my desk, and sure enough, Chibi-Upa was missing. I guess it is. Fancy that. Why do you have it? Oh, you know, I just happened to be in my bed for some reason. It just happened into your bed? Alright, I wanted to look at it. Jirard's so into his IPKs, and you were taking an interest in them too, so I was just curious. Oh, why didn't you say so? I would have let you look at it anytime. Though it was sitting on my desk all semester, it wouldn't have been hard for her to get a look just by looking at it. I made such a big deal about how weird it all was. I felt stupid trying to ask for them. Anyways, now you have it back, and we're not under attack. I'm going back to bed. Good night. Mai climbed hastily into her bed, no doubt embarrassed I discovered her secret. Excuse me. With a smile, I set Chibi-Upa back onto my desk and snuggled into my blankets. What kind of dream did you have, anyways? I sighed. Looked like we were both going to bed embarrassed. Okay, you were just standing there blinking at me for a bit. We just started a new scene and we're over 20. I'm gonna keep going. My leg felt much better the next morning, which was a good thing because all morning I was paranoid I would see Jirard. I need to scratch my back. I spent the walk to class ducking behind corners and jumping behind strangers. After the dream that I had, I didn't know how I could face him. I watched the clock tick away the hours with increasing anxiety. Every time I looked up and saw it was a new hour, my throat tightened. But of course, the time for my doom came. Lunch. Don't even worry about it, you'll be fine. Mai patted me on the back in her way, but I shook my head. As soon as we entered the cafeteria, I searched the Normal Boots table for Jirard, but he wasn't there. I glanced at the lunch line, out the door behind us, the spaces in between, nothing. Where is he? Mai shrugged. You got what you wished for. I bit the inside of my lip and headed into the lunch line. As was usually the case, Asagao served a mixture of foods from all across the world. With so many international students attending, it only made sense for them to do something like that. With our French and Thai food on our plates, we headed for the table. When we sat, I again searched the cafeteria. Nothing. Looking for something? I jumped. Satch, sitting next to me, was grinning devilishly at me. No, of course not. Satch laughed and jerked a thumb behind him. Jirard was at a table in the back of the room, a more private table surrounded by plants. He had an array of IBK figurines in front of him and was taking money from one of the students he was talking to. The student pocketed the Max Skellingpun figurine, and Jirard shook his hand. He's selling his figurines? Only his extras.
Really?
Why? They're so important to him. I thought he kept all his extras. Sat shrugged. That, I don't know. Maybe he got tired of the clutter? Jirard was now trying to pitch a kitty with lightning yellow hair and a giant-ass sword to a scared-looking first year. I turned back to my plate, trying to ignore my disappointment. After all, I didn't want to see him today. It was far too embarrassing. Nope, not at all. Lunch period passed by much more slowly without Jirard. It wasn't that the conversation didn't interest me. It was just that the spark of the whole thing was gone. Without Jirard's cheeriness and inclusive tendencies, the conversations veered towards games I had never seen or heard of. I pushed around my food, bored out of my mind. Finally, it was time to head back to class. With a grateful sigh, I got out of my seat and headed for the trash bin.
Hana!
Jirard! Hi, fancy seeing you here! In the cafeteria. At lunch. Yeah, I'm glad I caught you. Since I didn't get to eat lunch with you today, I wanted to know whether you'd be interested in making up for it this weekend. Have lunch with you? This weekend? Jirard was blushing slightly, a small smile on his lips. Was this a date? This was a date! Jirard was asking me on a date! You up for it? With you? Definitely!
Awesome!
That's great! In that case, I'll see you around noon on Saturday. Right, can't wait. As I beamed like a buffoon, I made eye contact with Mai. She slowly shook her head at me. Called it. Totally called it. Hush, shush. I'm in a relationship and you're not. A real date with Jirard? I was more than ready for that. That date will have to happen next episode, assuming it actually happens next episode, but either way, we're ending this episode now. So, I have been Max, and we'll see you next time for more Asagao Academy. Totally just realized it kind of looks like there are Xboxes on the shelf over there. Club. Whoosh. Boom, boom.